I want to be clear from the start. Nothing dramatic happened at first. No sudden fear. No sense of danger. Just a small thing that didn't fit, and then another. I live alone. One-bedroom apartment, third floor, old but clean building. Thin walls, predictable noises. I like that. Predictable sounds mean I can ignore them. That morning started normally. I woke up before my alarm, which already put me in a slightly irritated mood. Check the time. 6:31 a.m. I lay there for a minute, listening to the building wake up, someone coughing through the wall, pipes ticking, a door closing downstairs. Then my phone buzzed. I assumed it was the alarm bugging out early. I reached over without looking and stopped it. The screen lit up anyway. A message notification. The preview showed one line, "Don't leave before 7:30. I frowned, more confused than alarmed. I get spam sometimes. Wrong numbers. Automated junk. I unlocked the phone. The message thread was empty except for that one text. Sender me. Same number. Same contact photo. Same name. My first thought was that I'd scheduled it somehow. A reminder, maybe, sent as a message by mistake. I checked the timestamp. 6:42 a.m. That was 11 minutes in the future. I actually laughed. Quietly, but out loud. Phones glitch. Software bugs. I work in IT support. I see Stranger Things daily. I took a screenshot, mostly out of professional curiosity, then swiped the message away. I went to the bathroom. Brushed my teeth. The mirror fogged slightly, like it always does. Everything felt normal again, until my phone buzzed a second time. I was still holding my toothbrush when I looked. Another message. Same thread. You're going to hear something in the hallway. Ignore it. This time the timestamp was current. That was the moment my mood shifted, not to fear exactly, but to alertness. The way you feel when you realize you forgot something important. I rinsed my mouth, wiped my hands, and stood still. Listening. Nothing. The hallway outside my apartment is usually quiet that early. Sometimes footsteps, sometimes an elevator hum. But now, nothing at all. No distant doors. No pipes. Just the low electrical hum of my fridge behind me. I told myself this was coincidence layered on top of a glitch. My phone was probably syncing wrong. Messages queued weirdly. I'd seen that before. Then I heard it. Not loud. Not alarming. Just deliberate. A soft, dragging sound, like something being pulled slowly across carpet. It came from a hallway, just beyond my front door. I didn't move. I didn't breathe properly. My brain ran through explanations faster than I could catch them. Someone moving furniture. A neighbor with luggage. A cleaner with a cart. The sound stopped right outside my door. There was a pause, long enough that my muscles started to ache from standing still. Then my phone buzzed again. Don't open it. I stared at the screen. My hands felt cold, but my face was warm. That mismatch bothered me more than the message. There was a knock. Not aggressive. Not urgent. 3 light taps. Polite. Almost careful. Hello. A voice said from the hallway. A man's voice. Calm. Neutral. Maintenance. I looked at the door. The peephole. The deadbolt. Everything familiar. Unchanged. This wasn't a horror movie situation. Buildings have maintenance. People knock on doors. Still, I didn't answer. My phone buzzed again. He doesn't have a badge. I felt irritation then. Real irritation. Not fear. I don't like being manipulated. And suddenly that's what this felt like. A prank. Some kind of elaborate, targeted nonsense. I stepped closer to the door and leaned in to look through the peephole. The hallway lights were on. The carpet was clean. The man stood just to the side, slightly out of view, like people do when they don't want to loom. I could see part of his shoulder. Plain jacket. Nothing strange. No badge, my phone had said. I opened the door. Just a few inches, chain still on. The man turned toward me. Mid-30s, maybe early 40s. Tired eyes. Short beard. No uniform, but he was holding a clipboard. Sorry to bother you, he said. We're checking water pressure in the units. I glanced at his chest. Novak, just like the message said. Since when? I asked. He hesitated. Just a fraction too long. Since this morning. That was enough. I didn't slam the door, but I closed it firmly and slid the deadbolt back into place. Come back later, I said through the door. There was another pause. All right, he said. His voice sounded farther away as he stepped back. Have a good day. Footsteps. Then the elevator. I stood there for a long time after that, phone in my hand, heart beating faster than it should have been. I checked the building's resident portal. No notice about maintenance. No emails. No alerts. That didn't prove anything, but it didn't help either. I didn't leave the apartment until after 7:30. The rest of the day passed without incident. I went to work, answered tickets, drank bad coffee, told myself I'd overreacted. That night, I checked my phone logs, carrier records, app permissions, malware scans, everything clean. No scheduled messages, no spoofing ups, nothing that explained it. I slept poorly. Over the next week, nothing happened. No messages, no knocks. The tension faded, slowly replaced by embarrassment. I told myself I'd fallen into pattern recognition, seeing meaning where there was none. Then, 8 days later, my phone buzzed again. This time it was late, almost midnight. Check your front door. I didn't move. I didn't want to play along with whatever this was. Curiosity had already gotten me once. I set the phone face down and stayed on the couch, staring at the dark TV screen. Another buzz. The lock is scratched. I stood up despite myself, moved quietly, checked the door. There were faint marks around the deadbolt. Fresh, metallic. I hadn't noticed them before. I backed away slowly, my chest tight now, breathing shallow. The phone buzzed again. You should have called someone sooner. I sat down and stared at the wall, trying to think clearly. Every explanation I came up with felt either too harmless or too extreme. Either it was nothing, or it was something I didn't want to name. I didn't call the police. I didn't call a friend. I told myself that if this were real danger, it would already be obvious. That night, I pushed a chair under the door handle before going to bed. I felt foolish doing it. I still did it. In the morning, there was no sign anyone had been there. No new marks. No messages. Just silence. It's been 3 months now. I still get messages. Infrequent. Short. Always accurate in ways that make coincidence harder to accept, but never clear enough to explain anything. Warnings about elevators being out before I leave. About roads being closed before I drive. About people I should avoid, described only vaguely, but always correctly. I've stopped showing them to anyone. I've learned that makes me sound unwell. I don't know who or what is sending them. I don't know why they started. But yesterday, for the first time, the message wasn't advice. It was a question. Why do you think I started warning you? I haven't answered. I don't know what happens if I do.